finally happened. I was hoping that alien Mark Zuckerberg would go on and do this before I did this message, and he did it. So meta, the word, if you're familiar with comic book characters and all that, you understand what meta-human is, right? That's denoting something of a higher, look at somebody say higher. Humans trying to get higher, that's denoting something of a higher or second order or kind, a higher kind. The fourth kind, more powerful. The metaverse is a speculative future iteration of the internet made up of persistent, shared 3D virtual spaces linked into a perceived virtual universe. So basically you can create your own world, live in your own world, be whoever you want to be, and not be who you were born to be. That's the point. When we destroy people's human spirits, we gotta give them a place to be who they want to be at that point. So they changed the name of Facebook to Meta. Deepak Chopra wrote a book called Meta-Human, and it speaks of all of these things. And 60 Minutes ran an article even about the technology they're going to use in the new metaverse or on the Meta website, where they can actually, you don't have to be there. You can just type words and you will come on the screen and say them.
All it took was 8 minutes of me reading a script on camera for Synthesia to create my synthetic talking head, complete with my gestures, head and mouth movements. Another company, Descript, used AI to create a synthetic version of my voice. This is Bill Whitaker's synthetic voice, with my cadence, tenor, and syncopation. This is the result. The words you're hearing were never spoken by the real Bill into a microphone or to a camera. He merely typed the words into a computer and they come out of my mouth. It may look and sound a little rough around the edges right now, but as the technology improves, the possibilities of spinning words and images out of thin air are endless. I'm Bill Whitaker. I'm Bill Whitaker. I'm Bill Whitaker. Wow. And the head, the eyebrows, the mouth, the way it moves.
It's all synthetic.
I could be lounging at the beach and say, folks, I'm not going to come in today, but you can use my avatar to do the work.
Maybe in a few years.
Don't tell me that. I'd be tempted.
I think it'll have a big impact.
Oh, but this one. This is supposed to be the richest man in the world. Now, they're saying he's the richest man that ever lived, but we know that's a lie. Because Solomon, 2.2, how much? $1 trillion. Bro, that's all the money. But this is Elon Musk, creator of SpaceX Tech, or whatever it's called, and Tesla. And here he is speaking. So they want to know, well, how do we turn people into these things? He has an idea. Here it is.
It's something that I think is going to be quite important, and there's not. I don't know of a company that's working on it seriously. Is a neural lace. That seems maybe the best one is to have an AI layer. If you think of like you've got your limbic system, your cortex, and then a digital layer, a sort of a third layer above the cortex. That could work well and symbiotically with you. I mean, just as your cortex works symbiotically with your limbic system, your sort of a third digital layer could work symbiotically with the rest.
This is something that's surgically inserted or bred into the species, or what?
The fundamental limitation is input-output. So we already have, we're already a cyborg. It's just that, you have a digital version of yourself or partial version of yourself online in the form of your emails and your social media and all the things that you do. And you have basically superpowers in that with your computer and your phone and the applications that are there. You have more power than the President of the United States had 20 years ago. That you can answer any question, you can video conference with anyone.
Right.
Anywhere, you can send a message to millions of people instantly. So it'd be some sort of direct cortical interface.
And you called it a neural lace?
Neural lace. I mean, there are a few ways to approach this, but some sort of interface directly with your cortical neurons particularly.
But doesn't that imply surgical insertion?
Not necessarily. You could go through the veins and arteries because that provides a complete roadway to all of your neurons. Your neurons are very heavy users of energy, so they need high blood flow. So you automatically, with your veins and arteries, have a road network to your neurons.
So they're building a neural lace, a digital layer over your brain. And they're going to use your veins and arteries to build it. So that means that's a shot. Romans 8:16, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. The Spirit beareth witness with what? If something is wrong with your spirit, you can't be a child of God. Look at somebody and say, our human spirit. In New Age theology, frequency is reference to a person's aura or energy. That's just a fancy way of saying frequency. In the Bible, it's the person's spirit. Your spirit is frequency. This spirit is the reflection of who we are and the representation of our being in other realms. So in other realms, it's frequency. Here we hear words, other realms, it's frequency. If you record in a microphone and you put it in your computer after you recorded your voice, it's going to show up as what? Frequency. You just decoded it with your frequency decoders that God has given us in the 3D realm. Where spirit beings dwell, they only commune and respond to us through our human spirits. So it's our human spirits that they respond to, not your physical body. It's your spirit. This is why yoga, New Age practices, divination, all of that stuff, law of attraction, manifesting, positive imaging, all of that stuff are forbidden by God. Let me tell you why it's all that witchcraft is forbidden by God for a reason. When we partake in these practices, we are flying blind. We are walking in realms without our eyesight and ability to understand what we perceive. We can only decode things in the 3D realm because we're punished to exist here. So when you try to go in another realm, you don't have the equipment to decode what's happening in that realm. That was taken away from you in Eden when we disobeyed. That's what makes it a sin. What's wrong with yoga? What's wrong with I'm telling you, our senses help us to decode the information in the realm we have been given dominion over. We've been given dominion over the 3D realm. But we do not have dominion over other realms, so when we invoke them, we are opening ourselves up to things we have no control over and have no control over or have knowledge of. Once the gate is open, we cannot find the door to close it. If you don't have knowledge of that realm, then how are you going to close it? So the devil will give you information so you can open it, but he's not going to tell you how to close it because he wants that portal open so he can come and invade your being and use you. Yeah. That's why they could just play light as a feather one weekend. 10 years later, they're a full witch practicing divination because the door was opened. Once the gate is open, we cannot find the door to close it. We then become a host for beings